Hey everybody, OriginalRen here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, as promised during Golden Week, I wanted to upload some more visual novel playthrough videos for my YouTube channel. Now, a long time ago, I had a podcast episode with the group from Fallen Snow Studios, who were making an OELVN titled Lucid9. And in that podcast, I asked them if it would be okay to demo their game on my YouTube channel for people to be promoted to it and kind of be interested in what they were going to be releasing and redirect them toward the Foo Novel site where they have all their updates and things. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be playing through the full, according to them, 2-hour demo in about 4 parts, give or take, the entire game for you. And I hope you guys enjoy watching it as much as I enjoy playing it. Now, I'm going to be commenting sometimes during the video, stopping, giving my feedback about it, and in the end I'll kind of give a full feedback on the whole thing in the final part. But I don't want to spend too much time on the intros here. We're going to jump right in. I have started right on the game itself because recording the Flash player on the Firefox was a little bit challenging, so I just kind of jumped right in. This is the first line of the game. There's nothing else missing here, so you're not getting anything not exposed, or you're not missing anything in this case. So that being said, let's give my initial impressions. So, before I begin reading, I enjoy that we have, for example, this amazing scene, a bunch of trees in the darkness, the ambiance and the great dark noise in the background is fantastic, and I love that. It does a fantastic job of that. Now, overall, I'm liking what I see so far. I like games that start out creepy and eerie and make you wonder. And this is a mystery visual novel, so I'm hoping that there will be enough mystery in the demo where it might just be character introductions, and that's okay. I understand that it's a common route, so you don't get much into the mystery. But, right off the bat, we're thrown into a very mysterious scene ourselves, so let's start reading, shall we? Here we go. I step back and examine my masterpiece. Perfect. My favorite color. I've always loved red. It's different, brilliant, vibrant, unusual, a happy anomaly. Just like me. Red isn't much for nature, really only shows up in autumn, and even then it's a dreary rust or nauseating cherry. And we just can't have that. No, not when it deserves so much more. A whispering breeze filters through my thoughts, brushing against my skin with icy fingers. I allow myself a moment to pause, to relish, to admire, to welcome the fresh scent of freedom. This is what I live for. When I open my eyes, I spot a frail leaf dancing upon the backbone of the passing wind, afflicting the world with its appalling shade of asparagus. I pluck it from its branch with the edges of my stained fingernails. Disgusting. How anyone could enjoy this color eludes me. A soft groan redirects my attention to my waiting masterpiece. Its lovely release spread across the ground, face contorted with fear, twitching, cold fingers clutching at empty air. Not my best work, unfortunately. The canvas died much quicker than I originally expected, even when I tried to carve a bit slower. Alright, let's jump right into my first analysis, because I already have 2 things to say about it. First of all, the language in this game so far is very advanced. You have a high choice of vernacular, and this reminds me a lot of another original English visual novel that was being produced by Red Lattice Studios called Violeta Hill. And the language they used in that game also was very advanced. Now, this isn't necessarily a problem. I enjoy a little bit of advanced language reading, but for non-native English speakers, this might somewhat be a challenge, which is something I posted in the other video as well for their original English visual novel. The problem with this is, and this is a personal opinion as well, is that I feel like, and I didn't say this in the previous video, the word choices here is as if the writer himself or herself took a thesaurus and decided, this word doesn't fit, I want to use something else, and just slapped a bunch of words together. It makes sense, and it's great, it's good writing, but a lot of times I feel like advanced words aren't exactly needed, and that worries me because making, in my opinion, and I am not a professional when it comes to making visual novels, doesn't necessarily mean you have to have this advanced vocabulary to sound smart. You can make an amazing visual novel sound smart and still use a common vocabulary. Now, the counter-argument to this is that this scene right here deserves this kind of language. But I am worried, jumping right into the game, seeing as how the other game played out and, kind of seeing some of the previews for this one, if it's going to be the same. In this scene, it works. It works because right now I feel like I'm in the eyes of a serial killer. I'm pretty sure that a canvas is a dead body, and he's just killed somebody in the middle of the woods. And it's a great dreary scene. The ambiance, the music, the setting, everything describes that to me, that this guy is a fucking murderer. And he talks about how leaves are disgusting. Green, which is the color of life, argues the fact that he just killed somebody. And, you know, this is something that just goes through my head as a native English speaker based on the vocabulary in seconds. But for non-native English speakers, this might be a little more difficult. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I have some problems with it, though, because it is extremely advanced, and I'm worried that this will kind of be the dialogue during this character's monologue. Now, I'm assuming that this is one of the characters we might be introduced to. I assume that this monologue, usually opening monologues in VNs refer to the protagonist or something that happens with the protagonist, but we aren't given the full story until we actually know what's going on. Or maybe I could be completely wrong. It could be a character we're not even going to be introduced to. But I'm going to assume it's probably the protagonist or somebody in the high school setting, which this game, based on the screenshots I've seen, is kind of in a high school setting, is the main character. I'm going to be completely honest. Nobody in high school has these kind of monologues. Nobody's a child prodigy genius. Unless you tell me straight out that this kid is a genius and he speaks like this, I don't believe it. So that's what I'm worried about. But, like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm quick to jump into a judgment, but it does get me nervous as a reader, and being that it is the first scene that is supposed to grasp your readers into your novel, be careful. My advice to you, and you don't need to take it, it's mere advice, be careful how much advanced vocabulary you use. In this case, as a native English speaker, I enjoy it. I like this, especially given the dreariness of it. It's fantastic. And I could even make those comparisons of leaves being green with life, red, the color of death, you know, power, blood. You compare those two, you know. You throw red on green, it's going to make, you know, the red is going to overdominate the green. You can stain a leaf. You know, the green mixed into the red is still going to be more dominant. And so, you know, you kind of get that feeling. Anyways, long story short, positives of this, it works for this scene. Negatives of this, if this is the kind of dialogue and the monologues we'll be seeing throughout the game, it's really advanced, and some people may have trouble reading this, especially being the opening scene of your game. Then again, you know, that's not to say that any visual novel shouldn't deserve good language. It's fantastic writing, and that's the one thing I want to make sure you understand, that it is fantastic writing. So with that said, with my first initial rant that was a little bit long, let's get right back into the game, because, you know, I know you know, and I know that we all want to see what the heck happens. Okay, so here we go. Back to reading. Not my best work, unfortunately. The canvas died much quicker than I originally expected, even when I tried to carve a bit slower. Ooh, carving, nice. Well, no matter. Today it shall be my palette for my paint. And now he's digging a hole, so burying the body. I make quick work of my new palette's chest, ignoring the twitching of post-mortem reflexes from its mutilated kneecaps. The sweet color of red, true crimson, pure scarlet, slinks down its pallid abdomen, licking at the blossoming turf below. I dip my finger into the settling pool of blood, its warm, sticky-like syrup, or settling gelatin. The sweet scent wafts to my nostrils. Ah, the smell of iron, of rust, of all things sharp and beautiful. Now a new canvas. I check my surroundings, evaluating the surfaces and textures, and sizes and shapes of every object in sight. None are quite so satisfactory as human skin, with its elasticity, its porous absorption, its inanely warm tint. But a substitute is required, so a substitute I must find. Presently, I realize that I'm still holding that eyesore of a leaf in my hand. Well, I suppose it will have to do. In one bold, fluid stroke, I wipe my paint across the leaf, the very essence of Van Gogh himself. Ah, yes, dear Vincent, the man cut off his own ear to send a message with words when words didn't suffice. I always admired his style. I take a moment to appreciate the leaf's newfound radiance before searching for a proper display. Something like this deserves to be exhibited. I hang my canvas back on its branch. That's better. If only there was more of this color in this world. Actually, red is a very common color. Just saying. You won't find a lot of purples in the world. That's a color that's not around. Only lavender, really. The unexpected interlude of my phone drives me out of my thoughts. The irritating thing just loves to ruin the climax. Yes. Is it done? You're always in such a rush. Well? Yes, it's done. I was having a moment. There's more where that came from. You interrupted me. You're the one who wanted to know when it was finished. A thrill leaps through my veins as my lips pull into a tenuous smile, Well, is it? Same time, same place as usual. You know the drill. I nearly clap my hands, but master myself for one final word. Yeah, you could say master myself. I would put muster myself, because you're hyping yourself up. Probably muster would work better here. Understood. I cut the transmission and eagerly withdraw a small bottle from within my jacket. Only one pill left, but no matter. I'll be getting more soon enough. I pop the final capsule into my mouth, puncturing its skin with my teeth and rolling the bitter gel over my tongue. Now this is life. Not ecstasy. Ecstasy doesn't have a gelatinous gel to it. As a wave of euphoria sweeps through me, I turn from my handiwork, strolling out of the meadow. Today's fun is over, but tomorrow will hold just as many pleasures. Yama Ishimoto! Huh? I sluggishly pull my head upward, fixing my eyes on the woman at the front of the classroom. Are you even listening? I hide an instinctive smirk. Technically, no. I've always found napping more appealing than relearning history that's been drilled into me since age 6. Not that I can actually say that. In all honesty, this teacher doesn't deserve that kind of callous response. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Summarize the whole section we've been reviewing. I glance at the touchscreen board mounted behind the teacher, quickly skipping over the graphics and typography hovering on its surface. History of Isamu, our glorious metropolis, beginning at 2080. Easy. Life was really boring for a while. We weren't in debt, weren't at war, and were basically doing nothing interesting. The teacher's lips burst into a thin line as the classroom erupts into snickers. I feel the slightest tinge of regret and rein in my sarcasm. Then in 2007, America entered a debt crisis that caused a whole worldwide financial crash. Japan was one of the countries most affected by this, well, second to China. And why might that be? Because we were dumb about who we partnered with. She taps her finger impatiently on the desk, her eyes narrowing into slits. Well, she asked me to summarize the chapter. She didn't ask me how. Anyways, our glorious government didn't handle the situation so hot, so we had a lovely depression with all-time highs of unemployment and crime. Good effort. Gold star. The teacher waves her hands as the class roars with laughter. Right, that's enough. Elizabeth, perhaps you can salvage this explanation? Oh, hello, Elizabeth! She gestures a few seats to my right, where my lavender-haired classmate sits, her spine as straight as a ruler. I feel a curdle of distaste in the pit of my stomach as I lounge against my chair. So yes, the vocabulary did keep itself. Then again, like I said, it's a personal opinion of mine. You guys' writing is good, but this, as my rating says, and I'll go over this more at the end of the video, it's challenging. For scenes like this, I don't need, curdle. And I don't need, lounge is fine, but curdle, like a curdle of distaste, nobody speaks that way, okay? I'm just saying. Anyways, I'll continue reading. Of course, Elizabeth Oshiro, class valedictorian, school poster child, and the area's golden girl. Nap time. I settle my head in my arms as Elizabeth leaps to her feet, smiling warmly. Certainly, during this time, Japan fell into chaos. Oh, I'm sorry. No, she has more of a... Certainly, during this time, Japan fell into chaos. Public demonstrations, often violent, occurred almost every day. Furthermore, political scandals regarding the national government kept spreading. The teacher relaxes as Elizabeth's textbook... Why can't I speak today? Ugh, I'm having trouble now. The teacher relaxes as Elizabeth's textbook's recitation. She even shoots a quick glare in my direction, as if to say, "See? Why can't you be like Elizabeth?" Because she's a fucking whore, that's why. Eventually, local political powers became more effective in the centralized administration. Oh, I'm sorry. Eventually, local political powers became more effective in the centralized administration, hence why Isamu operates as smoothly as it does. Yes, thanks to the mayor's efforts. Perfectly done, Elizabeth. Elizabeth smiles primly and settles back into her seat, fixing her eyes on me with challenging disapproval. Well, I never liked you anyways, bitch. Go fuck yourself. I only shrug my shoulders, sending her an easy smirk. I give 0 fucks. Deal with it, classes. Ooh, beautiful and brainy. She might be worthy enough to make my list. Huh. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to go on a whim here and say that our main protagonist has multiple personality disorders, and that the pill he takes has something to do with the fact that he manipulates his mind to become a serial killer. That question mark was definitely the voice of the killer I just read in the beginning. So, he acts as a daytime bored-ass student who doesn't give about shit in the day, and then becomes a serial killer by night. To my list, huh? I'm going to go murder all the girls in this school. I like where this is going. If this goes in the direction it does, and it becomes dark, I'm gonna love you guys for this. So far, so good. I want to comment on that. By the way, I guess I should warn you that I might have proposed spoilers. These aren't spoilers, because they're guesses. That's my guess. Nice drop there, guys. Nice drop. I glanced to my left just in time to catch another classmate. Yahiko Ikari, winking conspicuously at Elizabeth. She clearly ignores him. Jeez Louise. Well, that's Yahiko for you. I can't remember a day when he hasn't tried to flirt with some girl or another, nor can I remember a day when he hasn't flat out rejected. Hey, this is a classic guy that... It's like Sue Amane. The guy who likes chubby chicks from Koigasaku. Clearly the best character, by the way, in the game. Just a heads up on that. Technically, he's my former roommate, which makes him my friend of 2 years, of course. At least he's former roommate. I knew he'd be a roommate, but I was like, God, if he's my fucking roommate, I'm gonna be so pissed. How close of a friend? Well, that's up for debate. Huh? She managed to... Oh, huh? She managed to deflect my charms! Yeah, he's gonna be the fucking hippie. I wonder how. Me too! Wait, who was just speaking? I just lost everything. Oh, Yama. Sorry. Okay, gotta confuse her. No one can resist Yahiko Ikari. Yahiko! Yahiko clams his mouth as a teacher's strident command. Strident, see? Ugh. She leans heavily against her desk, massaging her temples with her fingers. Alright, class, thanks to Elizabeth, we've seen where we come from. I'm sure you're all wondering what the point of this history recap was. Not really, no. We must study the past to understand the future. As such, it's imperative that the next topic be taken seriously. So! Where do you all see yourself 10 years from now? I'm barely able to stifle a snort. It's only, what, the second day of school? Sure, this is a third-year class. Sure, we're preparing for the college entrance exam. Does that mean we have to know exactly what we want to do for the rest of our lives? The teacher pointedly looks at me, a hard glint in her eye. Yama Ishimoto, perhaps you'd like to get us started? Yeah, I'm a serial killer. I also give 0 fucks. Oh! MLG. I eat Doritos and drink Mountain Dew. I'm tempted to say, no thank you, but that'd be pretty rude. I'll manage my parents' restaurant, I guess. The teacher's lips tighten ever so slightly. I know what she's thinking. No passion, no ambition. He'll be a failure, this one. It'll pay the bills. What more can I ask for? Really, dude? Out of anything you could have picked, you picked a restaurant manager? Well, what would you suggest? Add a bunch more, dude, like women and cars, even says dude. And he criticizes me for lack of imagination. Come on, it's 10 years. Anything could happen. The teacher shoots him a disapproving glare as his voice raises dramatically in volume. Ah, Yahiko. Thank you for volunteering. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Yahiko beams, and I feel a sudden sense of dread. Here goes his dream, the one that I've heard no less than 200 times before. Well, Teach, I see myself with a Ferrari F500 under one arm, a Lamborghini Aventador 704 under the other, and a lot of beautiful women in between, fighting for the honorable privilege of bearing my children. The class stares at him. Ah, heck, let's have some fun, I whisper to him. What about the mansion? Right, take all that and put it in a 20,000 square foot mansion attended to by a staff of 1,000 maids. And where is it located? Oh, it's in the Caribbean, on an island. A man-made island, specifically constructed just for me, with my name laser engraved into the hills so that every plane that flies by sees that it belongs to... That's quite enough, Yahiko. Thank you for your, input. Clearly, she doesn't believe in his dream. Actually, I don't think anyone except Yahiko believes in his dream. Then again, Yahiko has enough belief to make up for everyone else. Now, Umeko, what about you? As the rest of our classmates drone on about joining some kind of mega corporation like Lemon Skate or Way Forward Pharmaceuticals, nice name, I leaned closer to Yahiko. You forgot some things. I did? The yacht, the walk-in closet just for designer shoes, the private jet, a second mansion in Tahiti. Ah, crap, I did. Hey, Teach! Fortunately for the teacher, the school bell rings before he can grab her attention. My classmates immediately shove their belongings into their bags and bolt for the door. Meanwhile, Yahiko heads straight for the teacher's desk, eyes lit with excitement as he gabbers on and on about his yacht and his designer shoes with his private jet and his second mansion in Tahiti. A restaurant manager, huh? And then there's Elizabeth. Slipping into Yahiko's now vacant scene, she shifts her backpack's weight to the desk and raises a patronizing eyebrow at me. God, this vocabulary. Well, sorry for being a realistic, Miss CEO of a mega corporation. Sorry that I actually have ambition, Mr. Manager of the family... Sorry that I actually have ambition, Mr. Manager of the family restaurant. Well, you're a bitch, I see. That was quite a facade you put on, young lady. Let's play a game. What? Should I have talked about having a mansion and cars and maids on my own personal island? You didn't even shoot for a restaurant not owned by your parents. That'll kick the bucket one day. They'll kick the bucket one day. I might as well be the one who takes over. Have some respect, would you? I snicker at that. Respect? Me? I flash her a bright, overly friendly smile. See you around, Lizzie. She fumes, but forces herself to take a breath under her expression stills. Unfortunately... that's a pretty nice comeback. I'll give her that much. She lifts her chin and walks out of the room, nearly bumping into a startled Hiko on the way out. Why did she talk to you? Not me, the great Ikari. I'm just gonna call you Ikari, because I can't fucking say that name. Maybe because there's a limit to how many brain cells she's waiting to sacrifice for conversation. Beats me, but she's been doing that for a while. Really? We were in the same class last year. Really? It's not surprised that she just learned about this. That he just learned about this. And again, to be fair, I don't talk to Yahiko much about my personal life. Yeah, something like that. It's not important. Yahiko evaluates me for a second with my unusually stoic expression, but quickly shakes it off as his face is melting into a grin. So what'd you think about my dream earlier? This again. On second thought, maybe we should have kept talking about Elizabeth. Same as the other 200 times you told me. It hasn't been 200. Has it really? 203 to be exact. Huh, so that means you think I'm amazing. It's amazing, right? Totally, I think it's the best dream in history. It's so original and realistic. Well, thanks, dude. But I don't think you're aiming high enough. What should I add? Aim for the moon. He gasps as if it's the best idea after the poor soul. Forget Tahiti. A mansion? On the moon? A Domino's pizza? On the moon? You'd be the first. And probably the last. Just think about the possibilities. No one's ever even set foot on the moon. I guess this is an era where nobody went on the moon. Okay. Imagine how famous I'd be there if I built a mansion there. Well, you're mentioning America and Japan, so I assumed... And you mentioned Van Gogh, and yet nobody's been on the moon. I don't really understand that. Okay, never mind. No one's even set foot? Seriously? Oh, never mind. Ah, he's just an idiot. Well played. Well played. Either I stepped into the conversation at the wrong time, or someone just came up with a really stupid idea. Enter Ryu Hayata, my friend of 10 years. Technically, she's a grade lower than me, but that doesn't stop us from hanging out. She's stuck with me through thick and thin. She probably knows me better than I know myself, and she has pink hair, and I'm going to fuck you. You are my choice. So, what's going on here? I'm gonna build a vacation home on the moon. Somehow, I can't say I'm surprised. I know, right? It's brilliant. Think, the first man on the moon, and the first man to build a mansion on it. You're so bright, you're blinding me. What have you been telling him? Oh, you know, everything. Alright guys, I'm actually going to stop the video there and end this one part because I want to upload this first part to my YouTube channel. Like with my other demo playthroughs, please let me know if you'd like me to continue this because I do plan on, over this Golden Week, to finish a lot of these demos and get these visual novel playthroughs more on my channel for promoting some of the many games and types of creators that are out there. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My last few comments that I just want to make on it. Like I was saying, vernacular choice is very high. It's fantastic writing skills, but I think for native English speakers, it's sometimes going to be a challenge, just like with Violetta Hill. That being said, however, it's great. I enjoy it in some of those scenes, especially it works well with that intro scene and that mystery novel to it. But even in the classroom, I'm seeing some, pulls and stretches of words that I think are just completely unnecessary. Then again, that's the style of this VIA. For a monologue from a high schooler, it seems very... yeah. Character design so far, I really like them. We got the girl who's really preppy, but she was a huge bitch, which completely surprised me. Liked that. We'll see more about this Ryu character, which I haven't really been introduced to if I start playing it a little more. And the guy's Izaki, I think his name was, is your typical Sue character. And I like typical Sue characters. But again, he's all about women, and it would have been more interesting if you put a fetish on him, kind of like they did with Koigasaka, where Sue had the, I like fat chicks, which was just really rare. You never see that in, like, VNs and stuff, so I always thought that was funny. But anyways, guys, thanks for joining me in this video. It's really awesome. I really enjoy what I see so far. The artwork's fantastic. Dizzy World, I'm a huge fan of your art. It's completely adorable. I am interested to see how the CGs play out in this game, and if, Dizzy, you draw any of the kind of grotesque descriptions that I was given at the beginning. The painted canvas of a dead body, scratching his fingernails against a tree and all that fun stuff. Dizzy, I'm curious if you're going to draw that kind of blood or if there's scenes like that's in this game. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. So I am looking forward to some more of the artwork and the CGs. Thanks, guys. Again, Good luck on your project. Again, all the descriptions will be in the link box below for you to find anything you're looking for. And if you'd like me to continue this series or continue the rest of this game and finish the demo, let me know, and I'll upload more videos. Alright guys, see you in the next video, and thanks for stopping by. Peace out.